everyone, and welcome to Greta's Yoga YouTube channel. I'm Greta, and today we have a really special class. It is someone very special to me's birthday today, and so this video is dedicated to her, and I hope she enjoys it. She's been with me throughout my whole yoga career. She actually is the one who helped find my love for yoga and inspired me to continue practicing yoga. So thank you so much, and I hope you have an amazing practice or birthday. And these poses are dedicated to you to help with your lower back pain. So thank you so much for being my inspiration, and I hope you enjoy this. Let's start in a nice meditative seat, and we'll close the eyes and bring the hands to the knees, palms facing up, so we start to feel this openness, this light. And let's just check in with the body and with the breath. Noticing what's going on for you today in the time of your practice. Are your shoulders hunched over? Is your heart open and active? See if you can observe what's going on in the body today. Let's go ahead and bring the hands to heart center here. Thumbs towards the sternum, palms pushing into each other. And let's bow down our head in gratitude here to warm up the neck, get a little stretch here. And let's set an intention for ourselves. I am happy. I am grateful. Fill in the blank for yourself. I am what? Say it one more time to yourself. Release the hands, lift the head up, open the eyes, and put a smile on. Let's go ahead and do some neck rotations. So drawing big or small circles with the nose here. Just waking up the neck. Noticing how this feels. Maybe you have a crink in your neck and you maybe stick with that and rock back and forth right in that spot. And then go ahead and switch your direction of your circle here. Noticing how this feels. Beautiful. Take one more and then we'll come back to center. And we're going to make our way to a tabletop pose. So nice and slow, be mindful of how we get there. Spread the fingers wide here, really push into the knees and the tops of the feet, and we'll come into some cat-cows. Inhaling, and then exhaling. Again, inhaling, drawing the belly down, the navel down, lifting up the head. And then exhaling, rounding through the spine here, really pushing the navel up towards the back body, away from the yoga mat. And then inhaling, dropping the belly down, noticing how this feels. Exhaling, rounding through. Beautiful. Come to stillness at tabletop center. We're going to bring the toes a touch, knees wide, and send the hips down towards the heels, and then bring the hands towards the top of the mat. Forehead kisses the earth here. Extended wide leg child's pose here. Starting to wake up the shoulders, the underarms. Expanding the spine, the vertebrae. Sinking into the hips here. Breathe. And then bringing your hands to your head a little bit, pushing yourself back up, keeping your legs where they are, planting firmly into that left palm as we inhale the right arm up high. Exhale, release the right arm, thread the needle here, dropping the right shoulder and head towards the earth. And keeping that left hand in that 90-degree angle, sinking into the shoulders here. Beautiful. Push back into that hand as we inhale. Lift the right arm all the way up. And then exhaling, planting the right palm down. We'll inhale the left hand up now, nice and tall. And then exhaling, threading the needle here. Left shoulder places on the mat, nice and gentle. Breathing into the shoulders here, noticing how this feels. And then pushing into that right hand. We'll inhale the left hand up high and exhaling, coming back to your tabletop position. We'll just take a quick cat-cow in this variation. And then we're going to bring our feet back to underneath the knees underneath the hip bones here, coming into our standard tabletop position. We're going to bring that left leg behind us, extending it straight out, and then rocking back and forth on that ankle, pushing into the yoga mat with the left toes here, just noticing how this feels. And then we'll pause and lift that leg up just so that it's parallel towards the earth here, maybe rotating the ankle. And then we're going to crunch through, knee to nose here, and then stepping it through. Beautiful. Round through the shoulders here, creating that nice flat back position. So lifting the chest up nice and tall here, really feeling the stretch in that right thigh, the right quad here, and then the opening of the left hip. Awesome. Go ahead, plant that right hand, and again we'll take a twist, reaching that left hand up nice and tall. Beautiful. As we exhale, we're going to bring that left hand to the inside of our left foot. Nice and strong here. We're going to lift the hips up and then pivot on that back knee so that our right toes comes towards the left side of the mat in a perpendicular direction to the left leg. We're going to push into that left hand as we lift the right arm up high now, getting this nice stretch. Breathe into the body here. You can be on a block if that feels good, maybe coming onto the thigh. Just noticing how this feels. And then exhaling, releasing that right hand down and bringing that right foot back to create a nice straight line. We're going to keep the hands where they are, and then walk the left foot out a little bit. And we're just going to come into lizard here. If it's in your practice, maybe drawing onto our forearms here and breathing into this left hip. Beautiful. Keep breathing here. One more deep breath. And then lifting yourself back up nice and slow. We're going to again frame that left foot and then step it back to tabletop. Awesome. We're going to do the same thing on the right side. So bringing that right leg out nice and long and just rocking back and forth, waking up the back of the leg here, pushing into the right toes, noticing how this feels. And then we'll come to stillness and lift that leg up just for a moment. Again, maybe rotating the ankle here. And then rounding through, knee to nose here. And then exhaling, stepping that foot down. Beautiful. Again, round through the shoulders here. Lift up the torso. Getting that nice flat back. Feeling the stretch right in this left hamstring here. Or left quad. Breathe deep. Trying to radiate the heart forward here, and then planting that left palm. Again, like a bow and arrow, we'll lift the right arm up nice and tall. Breathe into this twist. And then exhaling, releasing that right hand to the inside of that right foot. And then we're going to shift the hips back as we rotate on that back knee so that our left toes come off the right side of the mat. We're going to lift the left chest, the left side body up here, creating a reverse twist, setting ourselves up for maybe an extended side angle or a triangle pose. Breathing here nice and strong, feeling the nice expansion in the whole left side body as we sink deep into that right hip. Beautiful. Exhaling, bringing that left hand down and pivoting back so that our shin is now straight on the mat. We're going to walk the right foot out, maybe spilling the toes off the mat, coming into lizard. We can draw the elbows, the forearms down if this isn't our practice. Or we can stay on our hands here, breathing deep. So whatever variation works for you, go ahead, find it, breathe deep into it. Trying to keep that the right knee hugged into the right shoulder here. Breathe deep. And then using your hands to push yourself back up if you're not already there. Framing the foot and then stepping it back to tabletop pose. Awesome. We're going to spread the feet and knees wide. And we're going to come into hero pose. So we're going to slowly walk our legs down. We can use our hands to move the flesh away from the backs of our legs, our calves, and sit down. Ooh, my fingers are stuck. We can try to draw our thighs together and our knees together. And we want to bring our toes so they're facing up and out towards the back of our mat. This can be pretty intense on the knees. So if this is like, ouch, you can go ahead and bring something like a blanket or a block or a pillow underneath and sit on that. Or you can just bring your feet together and sit like this. So go ahead, try out what feels good for you. We'll just be here for a few breaths. Maybe if you want to at first to bring your legs wide, and then final poses bringing the knees together. So many different options for you. And then we're going to try to tuck the tailbone down as we sit up nice and tall. The hands can be on the thighs here, drawing the shoulders down and back, creating that ear to shoulder gap. Hero pose. The person I'm dedicating this video to is a hero of mine, so this pose is dedicated to her specifically. It's also great to feel the hero in your own self. Awesome. Go ahead, slowly come out of it, walking your hands, coming back to tabletop pose. We're going to bring our feet, again, hip distance apart, our knees hip distance apart as well. And then we're going to lift ourselves up. Beautiful. We're going to interlace our hands behind us and draw the hands down, the chest open and the shoulders back. Really sinking into the shins here. The eyes can be closed, or maybe we have a nice gaze looking up, chin slightly up. Breathing deep here. And then exhaling, releasing, bring the hands up overhead. We're going to grab the left wrist with the right hand, pull ourselves up nice and tall, and then exhale, lean towards the right side. Inhaling back to center, switching the grip now, grabbing that right wrist, reaching up nice and tall, and then exhaling, falling towards the left side. Breathing deep here, and then inhaling back to center, releasing the hands and stretch nice and tall, reach, reach, reach. And then we're going to bring our thumbs back, fingers forward, and create a nice slight upper back bend here, lifting the heart up, and then creating space as we draw the shoulders down and back. We're keeping the tailbone engaged here. We're not sinking into the lower back. We're protecting it by engaging the core, engaging the glutes, and engaging the thighs here. And then exhaling, releasing the hands down by the side body. We're going to come into camel pose here. So this can be really intense on the lower back as well as the upper back. So I'll give you a few variations. The first one to start is to bring your hands, fingertips facing down, right on the back of your sits bones here. Kind of right if you have back dimples right there. Really where your lower back is. And so you're going to push into the lower back. So you don't want your tailbone to be out, but you're going to really push to engage the core here. Really squeeze the thighs together, engage the glutes, draw the shoulders down, and then gently tilt the back towards the back edge of the mat here. Breathing into the lower back here, expanding through the chest. This is great on the quads as well. And then inhaling back up nice and slow. If that was a good length or level for you, go ahead, we'll do that again. Otherwise, you can either bring your toes to tuck like this so that it's closer to your heels, or keep your heels down. We're going to slowly try to reach our hands towards our heels here, creating a deeper back stretch, chest opener here. So we can be here in this pose, or we can be with our toes tucked, nice and gentle here, or we can be in our first variation with our hands on our lower back protecting it. So go ahead, breathe deep in whatever pose you're in. And then we want to really protect when we come out of the pose. So we'll not fall, but just gently push ourselves up to one side and then on one hand and come up nice and tall. Beautiful. We're going to come back to the tabletop, bring our knees together, and then send the hips down, coming to a child's pose. We can draw the hands all the way down the mat, coming to lift the palms up and the fingertips towards the back edge of the mat here. Really dropping the shoulders down. Breathing into the back. Awesome. Go ahead, bring your hands up and put yourselves to a tabletop again. Go ahead, bring your knees hip distance apart. You're going to come into pigeon pose. So we're just going to bring the left knee up, and then just bring the left knee to the left hand, walk that right leg back, lift up, and then exhaling, bringing the forearms down, maybe going this far, or trying to stack the fists, or resting a cheek or forehead on the palms here. Not collapsing into the left hip here, just breathing into both hips. Notice how this feels for you. Take one more deep breath here. Exhale, releasing everything. Slowly using your hands to push yourself back up and lifting the hips as we draw that left knee back, coming to, again, a tabletop pose. We can wag the tail here a little bit to shake it out, and then we'll bring that right knee up and place it down, and then shift that left leg back, lifting up nice and tall, and then exhaling, folding into pigeon pose here. Notice how this side feels for you. Breathe into the hips. Send awareness and energy into the hips as you try to sink a little bit deeper. Beautiful. Breathe deep here. Take one more deep breath. And then on your next inhale, use your hands to push yourself up. And then lift the hips up as you send it back to tabletop pose. Again, maybe shaking the hips out. And then we'll swing the legs to one side and then come onto our sits bones. And we'll come to Dandasana. So legs extended out. We can move the flesh away from our sits bones here to help us sit up nice and tall. Notice how this feels. Maybe bringing our hands to right behind our sits bones to help lift up the chest. Sitting up in this nice tall pose, staff pose here. And then slowly using your hands to come onto your elbows maybe, coming all the way down to the back. We'll bring the knees up here, tuck the tailbone down towards the mat, and then hug the knees into the chest. You can rock gently side to side here. Maybe the eyes stay closed. Gently massaging out the back here. And then we'll come to stillness at center. And then we're going to hug the right knee in as we extend the left leg out nice and long. Hug that right knee in and then gently rock it towards the right armpit and then back towards the chest center. So just creating this gentle, very small, very slow rocking of the right thigh just towards the left and the right, up and then over, and then hugging it into the chest one more time, and then lifting the left knee towards the chest, big hug, and then grabbing just the left leg now and extending that right leg out nice and slow with control. Hug the left knee into the chest here, and then slowly create that nice gentle rocking back and forth of the hip socket here. Your feet can be flexed or pointed. I like to have my left foot pointed, so the foot that's up pointed, and then right foot, the foot that's extended, flexed. Nice, gentle back and forth, and then we'll hug the knee into the chest here. And then lifting that right knee back up, hugging yourself one more time. And then we'll bring our hands to the outside of our feet here as we come into a happy baby pose. Maybe we bring our hands to the tops of the feet here so we can really push into the feet as we ground down through the tailbone, trying to draw the thighs towards the mat, and then rocking back and forth. Noticing how this feels. Adding whatever movement would feel good for you. Get a little creative, play a little bit. Maybe drawing that Gemini within. And then coming to stillness, and then drawing the heels, the whole feet together, coming to drop the feet down, dropping the knees as wide as the mat, coming to butterfly pose. The hands can rest on the thighs here. Breathing deep, noticing how this feels. And then using your hands on the outside of the thighs to push your legs up together. And then teeing your arms out nice and long, palms can be up, and then lifting the feet up as we fall the knees towards the right side and drop the head towards the left. Create a nice supine twist here. full body stretch. Maybe grabbing that left thigh with the right hand to sink a little deeper. And then lifting everything back up towards center and dropping the knees towards the left now and the head towards the right, trying to draw that right shoulder blade down towards the earth. And again, maybe grabbing that thigh or the shin with your left hand. If you want to sink deeper, you can try to hug the knees closer into the torso, or if it's too intense, maybe drawing the knees down away from the body. So just play around with what feels good for you. And then inhaling the head up, knees up. Go ahead, hug yourself in one more time, knees to chest. And then slowly extending the legs out, coming to Shavasana. Feel free to add any extra movement before we come into corpse pose. Once we arrive here, we can go ahead and spread the feet hip distance apart, spilling the toes over, and extending the arms out long away from the body here, palms facing up. Maybe you're practicing in grass as well, and you can kind of touch the grass with your hands and just noticing how that feels, that gentle sensation. Breathing deep. Time allows, stay here a few more minutes. Maybe drawing the shoulder blades in a little bit and tucking the chin towards the chest slightly. Breathing into the full body. And if time doesn't allow, go ahead and start to wiggle the fingers and the toes and start by making small movement in the body. And then reaching the arms up overhead, creating a full body stretch here. And then exhaling one knee up and then the other. And then falling to one side here. Any side, and using that arm as a pillow. And then slowly and mindfully press into the earth here for support as you lift yourself up, coming to a seated pose of your choice. And then drawing the hands to heart center once more. Maybe again returning the smile to the face. Bow down the head in gratitude. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you all enjoyed it. Namaste. And happy birthday.